Hi, I'm Bobby Cronin, and I'm so excited to have created this benefit series. It's actually a concert series called Inspired. And what it is that I've asked 10 composers to perform a song that has inspired their work. And I thought this idea was really interesting because I go to a lot of my friends' concerts and people come to my concerts and it's all our work that you get to see, and you don't really know too much about us other than our work. And I've been dying to do a benefit, and I just couldn't figure out how to make it work without it being so crazy, huge, and bands and everything. And I thought, something really intimate, honest with people. And I was literally singing along to a pop song in my car, and that's where I came up with the idea. And I contacted about 20 writers, and they all came back with, yes, I'm not available this time, but if you do it again, please let me know. And that's when I was like, maybe I'll make this a series. And that's what I've done. So it's going to be every 2 to 3 months, and I'm a huge animal rights person, and I took a break from theater for a while in the mid-2000s and worked as a veterinary emergency nurse, believe it or not. And I did this because I wanted to do something that my entire purpose was to help somebody else. And it just made creative juices really start to flow because I wasn't focused on me, I was focused on someone else. And so I'm trying to give back to some of the organizations that really helped me, like the ASPCA and the Last Resort Rescue in New Jersey, which is a shelter that is in need of a new home, where I actually just got my latest dog named Maggie. She's a gem. And a lot of these dogs at shelters are either on death row down in the South, or even here we have this awful death row thing. And I want to try to use, the hard work that I'm doing as a writer, trying to use whatever I can do to help. I have such a varied group of writers who've inspired me. I'm the youngest of 5 kids, and we grew up in a house that had 1 bathroom. So literally we were on top of each other all the time. And my brother, who I shared a room with, was a metalhead and listened to Zeppelin and Metallica and Jimi Hendrix. And then I had a sister who loved Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks and Pat Benatar. And then I was really into Madonna, cliche, but I was, and I loved 80s power ballad world, but I think my greatest 2 influences would be Queen or Freddie Mercury. I just loved their epic, almost opera sounding writing. It was so passionate and powerful and clever at times when it needed to be. And Elton John. I just loved what he did. There's usually either a Billy Joel contingency or an Elton John, and I picked the Elton John side. I also, strangely enough, I come from a family where theater was just, we didn't really know what it was, but my mom got a piano passed down through generations to her when I was 9 years old, and in the bench was all this theater sheet music, and she and I would sit at the piano together, and I would follow her fingers and learn how to play, especially Jerry Herman. I loved Mame and Hello Dolly, and those melodies are just lush and beautiful, and I think I tried to take all those influences and combine them into what I would consider my sound. Passionate, powerful, funny when it needs to be, and getting really specific in writing for character, which I learned from Jerry Herman and Queen, strangely enough. It feels like each song is very specific to them. So those would be my influences. That's a good question. Early in my career, I would write with a singer in mind. I did that a lot. And I found that, which was fine because I was only working on 1 musical at that time. In the last 3 or 4 years, I'm now developing 4 different projects, and it's all so character specific. But I do, in the back of my mind, if I know what I want the range to be, I will have in my head Carrie Butler. Okay, we could have that range, that sound of a singer. Or, I have a friend named Lauren Elder who was in Hair, and she's doing Sideshow right now, and she has this great alto where her top note is a B. And you don't hear that anymore, and I love that sound. And so a new project I'm working on, one of the central characters doesn't sing above a B, which is unheard of today. But it fits for the character. So, yeah. I got my very first cat and my very first dog from the ASPCA. And I know that it's a large organization that just always needs money because they are always trying to help. When I worked at the animal hospital for a couple of years, we did a lot of work with the ASPCA and with the Humane Society, and because we're a specialized hospital, there's Fifth Avenue Veterinary Services on 15th and 5th. And it's an emergency and specialty place, so we would get these really cool, crazy cases, and they would be brought to us to help because they wanted to help. And so when I got my first animals, it changed me tremendously as a human being. You know, I think you move to the city and you have all these dreams and aspirations and you get so focused on those that you don't think about anything other than yourself. And as soon as I got an animal, I was like, I have someone to answer to. And it made a humongous difference. And there's so many animals that need homes, and I think if people would not be so scared of commitment, there'd be a lot more animals placed in homes. And the love that you get from, I open my door every day, and my dogs come running down and greet me, and they want to sit with me, and they sit next to me when I'm writing, and I always feel like, being a writer can be very lonely, and I feel like I'm never alone, that there's always this grateful and sweet face right next to me that you sometimes don't get from people. You can, there are great people out there, I don't want to put it that way, but, and I know that there's an overpopulation in all of these shelters, and the ASPCA is a great organization that is volunteer and employee-based, and there can never be enough volunteers, there can never be enough money. And also, have you ever seen any of those ASPCA commercials with Sarah McLachlan and those big eyes looking at you? How do you say no? So they were literally the first that came to my mind. And the same thing with the Last Resort. They were the next because of the latest dog that I got. And they need a new home. They want to save more lives, and they are in a small space. Also on my list will be the Humane Society. I got one of my dogs, Olive, named after the central character in Spelling Bee, who kind of looks like Angela Lansbury in Sweeney Todd. So it's sort of a misnomer. But so I'll be working with them. And then there's this great organization called the Mayor's Alliance for Animals. And they do discount spay and neuters, and if we can get that taken care of, then there won't be such a crazy overpopulation of animals. And so I just want to, there's so many great organizations, and if I can give them a couple grand after a concert, then great. I feel like I've done what I set out to do. It's going to be much different than going and watching. I love going to see Joe Iconis do his thing. I think he's great, and you watch him and his family get up there and just sing their hearts out and have a great time with you, and you're watching a performance. What I'm going for with this is a much more laid back, sort of sitting in someone's living room. Like if you could be invited into one of these composers' homes, that they would sit at the piano and talk to you. I'm going to serve as the host, which scares me a little bit, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to suck it up and do it. And I will have some questions for them to sort of help facilitate a conversation. Strangely enough, most of the composers are interested in this because of the cause, which is exciting. A lot of them were scared to have to perform, which was part of the excitement to all of us. Normally, we have other people sing our stuff. And this will be us doing one or two songs that inspired us, or one song that inspired us in one of our own songs, to see how the two interrelate. And basically I've given each composer like a 10-minute slot to do their thing. But just to get to know them more personally. I feel like it's hard to get to know a writer. You know their work. And I think we're all crazy, fascinating people who write for characters. And you get to know those characters. I just had lunch with Stephen Flaherty the other day, and I thought that I knew this man through these beautiful characters that he's written for, and just sitting with him, he was the kindest, like beyond kind, giving, understanding, supportive, generous human being. And it made me wonder, like, how many people know this? How many people know that there's an amazing human being underneath this artist? And also, like with films and stuff, there are all these great films about artists, because we have some stuff going on in our brains that we like to get out into the world. But so does an actor, and but it's all part of the art form. But I'm trying to get something that's more casual, not like dressy and formal, just a chat. Like you'd want to have a drink with these people, I'm hoping that they can see that it's a $15 ticket, and that $15 ticket is going to allow them to have a great time, learn some stuff, and to save some lives. And there's nothing better than the feeling of helping. Seriously, nothing. And I hope that it inspires them to go out and try to find something that they believe in, that they would want to support. Whether it's buying more tickets to a Broadway show, or whether it's going to St. Jude's and doing a tour. My brother does a lot of stuff for St. Jude's, and he goes twice a year and gets like a tour with a child, and he said it is the most beautiful, beautiful experience he's ever had. And I want people to get up and do something. Our community is so exciting, and there are these great things like Broadway Cares and Broadway Impact. These really powerful organizations, and I think that we have within us this spark, this fire that we want to do more than just be on a stage. I think we want to try to change the world, and if we can do it in our own little way, of finding something that we believe in, then hopefully I can in our concert pass that on to the audience to make them want to go out and do something to help. The first concert is on the 22nd of this month, and we have a great lineup of people who I adore: Brad Alexander, David R., Carter and Gregor, Drew Fornarola, Michael Holland, Rob Rokicki, Georgia Stitt, Katie Thompson, and Michael Patrick Walker. It's a great lineup of really talented people. And then I want to continue to represent the different styles and different levels of composers and writers, and get people like Stephen Schwartz, who's huge, and then people that are just starting out. It's not targeted toward success necessarily, and put that in quotes. It's targeted toward people that are trying to follow their dreams. I really hope that you pass this on to your friends, and it's a special event, and we're, our goal is to help save these innocent, sweet beings that just need a chance. And just like us as artists, we all need a chance. And what better group than artists who want to help, to give a chance. So hopefully I'll see you there. If not this one, the next one is the 18th of November. They're all going to be at Stage 72, which is right off the 123 line at 72nd Street, literally 3 steps away. And come have a good time and save some lives.